Hello there, good morning to you. This is Kakaaki Onoshorena Obozeghie. Now, the River State House of Assembly complex was on Wednesday morning completely brought down by bulldozers, setting off the day on another tense day in a series of dramatic events in the politics of Rivers. Now, the development came 2 days after 27 members of the state legislature officially abandoned Governor Sim Fubara by defecting from the PDP to the APC amid heightened speculations that plans were being perfected to have the sitting governor, impeached. Now, Governor Sim Fubara was quick to present a 800 billion naira appropriation bill for the 2024 to the members of the House loyal to him, and the presentation had to hold at the government house in Port Harcourt after the demolition of the house commenced, which the governor says it is unfit for legislation since after the fire that occurred earlier this year. Now, let's take you to the space of social media and see how all of this happened. Now, Bobo says, Sim take everyone unaware. That was so strange. Sim is a good and best graduating student from Wike Political School. He learned so fast and make implementation that will favor the people of River State. Also in reaction, a letter from Jag says, Fubara demolished River State House of Assembly. That's okay by you. He used 5 assembly members to pass budget that makes sense to you because of your hate for Wike. I like the way these guys celebrate illegality when it suits them. They will soon come on this same page to moralize and pontificate on a different matter. We will remind them. And then Dine is reacting also, and he says, to you, waking up one morning to impeach the governor without any reason is legality for you, and you enjoyed the show. Tear gassing a sitting governor and pouring him water by Abuja police dogs was okay, and you enjoyed the show. Go and sin no more. Now, more thoughts will be from Chima, who says Fubara is going to use 4 years to rebuild it. Every day, 1 block for the next 4 years. Let the 27 lawmakers go sit for gutter, carry out impeachment. You must be brutal to fight a brutal force. And finally, Sports Dakita, he says, I don't care who is wrong or right, be it Wike or Sim, but destroying a structure worth billions of naira of taxpayers' money because Godfather is fighting with Godson is an offense that would cost somebody his office in Senate climbs. What sort of nonsense are we doing in this country, for God's sake? But in what looks like an earlier corroboration, Rivers State former governor, now FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, said in a video that the now demolished house was substandard and unfit for legislation.
We were not part of the building of your offices and your chambers. You built that. You built it by yourself. And that's why today, it cannot stand the test of time. The legislature built the office, your chambers, you built it, and it's leaking everywhere. You built it. So when you come to tell me it's leaking, I say, who did the contract? Is it the executive? No. Who did it? The legislature. Go and face your own.
Now, still in Rivers State, a former militant commander, Asari Dokubo, has again called out his father as he disclosed during the election, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This time, he claims to be making a case for the people of Ijaw, and he says they have crowned this federal government the worst in history. Now, in a fresh video, Dokubo announced that he is taking back his words of hold me responsible if Tinubu fails, stressing that he is unable to stop his people from reacting violently in no time. He believes that the fight between Wike and Fubara, who is Ijaw, is part of the plan to further harm Ijaw people.
Don't hear it. Ijaw people are already angry that this is the worst government. This government is against Ijaw people, and you want to add fire to petrol? As a friend, I will tell you, Ijaw people feel this is the worst government for them. This is a nightmare for them. And when we were voting, when we were campaigning for you, a lot of Ijaw people called me, President, you don't know Tinubu. You know everything about Tinubu. Tinubu is your friend. No? We hope it's not going to look the other way. Oh. And I assured everybody, I say, if Tinubu fails, hold me responsible. And today, the people are asking me, are you still on that if Tinubu fails, hold me responsible? River State is a litmus test. If there is going to be any fire, it will start in River State. I cannot stop them.
All right, let's have some reactions at this point. The Truth says, first of all, Tinubu did not even win, I think, River State or come close to. Secondly, the Delta State rather, says secondly, it's obvious that Asari doesn't have access to Tinubu or has his direct phone number. You cannot advise a president you supported so well like this on social media. That's act of immaturity. And then Martin says he's speaking up now because it was abandoned and not given the petrol pipeline protection contract. That tells you most people that support this led administration are benefactors or people who think they would earn from it. F.S. Yusuf says, the moment Asari Dokubo's personal interest is not fulfilled, he begins to cry that he is fighting for Ijaw people. Man, we know your game. And finally, Baron says, people literally said Tinubu negotiated with him and gave him assurances. So he was just doing it with no agreement. Well, he failed at this point to say agreement, no agreement, but you know the paper, my guy. Now, finally, for like 3 days now, it's been in the news that the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Investment budgeted to travel to Geneva with 1 billion naira next year. Now, the reason was it added online as it won't stop trending. The ministry has put out a statement to clarify what it is and how Geneva got into the 2024 appropriation bill, the only place it did. And on X, the minister wrote yesterday that we wish to categorically state that there is no line item in the proposed budget of the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment referring to any foreign trip to Geneva. Rather, the only mention of Geneva in the proposed budget is with respect to the maintenance of the Nigerian Trade Office in Geneva, captured as External Trade Sector Geneva World Trade Organization, which may have been misconstrued as foreign trip to Geneva. In fact, the total amount for Nigeria's trade office in Geneva in the appropriation for 2024 is 1.6 billion naira, with the breakdown as follows. And it says, number one, personnel costs 800 million, then overhead 200 million, and then capital 600 million. Let's go over to continue her statement on X. It says, for clarification, Nigeria as an active player in global trade maintains an office in Geneva responsible for representing and defending Nigeria's multilateral trade interests in the World Trade Organization and the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, both headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. Expectedly, the Nigerian Trade Office Geneva has obligations, overhead and maintenance costs as with any organization that must be met. It says, in fact, the current debt owed by the Nigeria Trade Office in Geneva as captured in the budget is 499 million naira, and it was deemed necessary to propose a budget that will service Nigeria's outstanding debts in Geneva and maintain Nigeria's respect and global standing amongst the Committee of Nations. Please be assured that the ministry is committed to prudence, transparency and accountability. So this is the Ministry of Industry, Trade, Industry and Investment yesterday. Atolayinka says, thank you, ma'am, for the clarification. God will grant you wisdom to deliver. Now let's go over to the other side. Loretta says, what are the gains of that office in the past 10 years that warrant its continuous existence? And then Dotun says, personnel cost 805 million naira. What kind of salaries do these people earn and how many people are in the trade office? And then Okay, so I just wanted to say, if I may further bring in the thought of netizens at this point, this is just a press release with a position that is different from what lawmakers have, because the minister, Anete, was queried by the National Assembly on Wednesday. She was asked the rationale behind the plan amidst economic hardship. Now, she coming out to say that that's not what the budget says is what remains unclear on social media, because with the press statement, is the minister saying that what the Joint Committee of the National Assembly on Trade, Industry and Investment saw, and then they told her yesterday that she's not doing well, is also not what it is. Now, Oshomole from Edo North even advised her to use experts in her offices to achieve results instead of embarking on a trip that cost ₦1 billion. But she comes out to say there is nothing like that, a trip to Geneva in her budget, and she's also promising accountability and transparency in same breath. So netizens are saying that, Madam Minister, your press release is not pressing, so we need an update really, because if you are defending something else on social media and you are defending another thing before the National Assembly lawmakers, then it's not adding up. So, well, I do hope that the thoughts of netizens have been conveyed right there. That's how we'll call it a day. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I'll see you again tomorrow.